All right, dude. So I saw the other day that the Senate Intelligence Committee, the bipartisan uh, investigation they did onto the collusion with Russia, if the Trump campaign colluded with Russia, it doesn't acknowledge how Mueller officially states, but it's their own little investigation, and they came out, bipartisanship said, no, there's no collusion, we don't see it. Even though Democrats rampantly say, oh, collusion, collusion, collusion.
And I feel like we all kind of knew that from the start. We just kind of jumped on this superstitious train with everyone else. But, the reality is, the reason that so many Russians voted for Trump in the first place is because he promised that he would try to work with ties with Russia. And, of course, everybody was super excited. Cool, peace with Russia. Sanctions would be lifted, their relatives in Russia would live happier, and maybe, trips won't be as expensive here and back, stuff like that. That's why most of the Russians that I know for sure voted for Trump in the first place.
Which you are definitely morphed into the Russian community here. Definitely.
Yes, definitely a lot more than your normal person here, because I'm Russian myself, but...
Exactly.
In the end, of course, he just kind of backstabbed, the Trump administration basically backstabbed more or less the Russian community. The Russian consulate that was in San Francisco was closed down. So they had
I remember that.
The nearest one was in Seattle. Then the one in Seattle was closed down. So now the nearest one is in Texas, is in Houston. And can you imagine, 70-year-old woman and just people having to go out to Houston to get their retirement from Russia now, or to do anything that has to do with the official government of Russia.
They can't do that online. They have to actually go to the consulate.
Yeah, for a lot of the issues, they actually have to physically be there, which wasn't a problem.
Fucked.
Which wasn't a problem when it was in San Francisco.
Right. Because
there's such a big population here of Russians in California. It wasn't a problem when it was in San Francisco. It wasn't even a problem for all the Russians in Washington when it was in Seattle. But now it's in neither of those places.
Yeah. Well, fuck. That's... I couldn't imagine having to fly out to Houston from California to Texas just to
I can't either, and I have to do that soon now.
No. That's disgusting. But... back to it. So that's what we're trying to say here. We knew there's no collusion. You guys knew there's no collusion. If there's anything that gets Trump, it's the emolument cases that are against him that are already proceeding through court. He broke those. I mean, that's just obvious. I'm not a legal scholar. Obviously, I can't say it legally, but,
Right.
When you got to call a spade a spade.
With a little bit of logic.
With a little logic and TLC, you can see that this is some bullshit-tory. Just saying. Just saying. And that's the whole point that we're covering this is, if, I don't know anyone who believes this Russia hysteria. I mean, I've seen it on TV, CNN,
and it's pretty
MSNBC,
much what you called it. It's a hysteria.
The people they have on there. Yeah, it's a hysteria. I don't agree with Trump on most policies. There are a few good things he's done that are actually left-leaning policies, but very few. But when he calls it a witch hunt, it's like, yeah. Sorry.
To be honest,
if you're talking about Russia, collusion, Trump campaign...
Russia has always been a witch hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything that has to do with Russia, it's always been a big witch hunt.
Well, at least recently.
Well, yeah.
Ever since the fall of the Soviet Union, I would say. Because, I agree with a lot of people in power right now who are saying, no, it's China rather than Russia, because...
China's a lot more likely.
Yeah. I mean...
But no one looks at China for some reason.
I know, I don't get that.
I don't get that either.
I don't get that. I hate having my shit made in China. I'm just saying. I hate it. I want American-made shit.
But we like the prices.
Well, I mean, I make American shit in my bathroom, but I'm talking American products. Sorry, I just had to slip that in there. But anyways, that's the point.
If things were made in America, they would just be more expensive than they are made in China. But
anyway. It would be worth it, and it would be worth it if we were... See, there's a whole list of policies that need to be that need to be done like, oh, we need to take care of our middle class and our poor people, allow them to generate more money so they can put more money into the economy. So if we're going to bring back American jobs, and okay, it's going to be a little more expensive because it's here at home, we're paying good, livable wages to our good American workers, I'm willing to pay more, but you still got to help us make more. Because corporations, again, like, we're not their profits. We help get their profits, and that's why we have an extended tie, but we also take away from their profits. And that's very important. Like, I have had some sort of manager experience in lower stuff, like things like Togo's and a Goodwill, this lower retail stuff, the lower food industry stuff, and they're the ones that struggle the most because Togo's did because it's a franchise, and it was her money, and she still had to pay all this other stuff. I mean, she was a small business owner, and I helped run it. So I know the struggle of a small business. Like, I do believe they need tax cuts, but they still need to pay their workers a livable wage.
Right.
It's tit for tat.
But to tell you. Back to Trump.
No collusion.
No
Emoluments clause, yes.
That's
the Israel thing.
That's basically what we were planning on focusing on.
If people hear this, they're going to call me an anti-Semite, which I'm not, because I have Jewish family, and I really don't quite care about religion. I respect it, but I don't quite care, and you know that. Mm-hmm. Organized religion, not the faith aspect and belief. But, dude, no, fuck that whole Israel shit, no. I don't believe in what Hamas is doing, but you don't have the right to do what is being done to the Palestinians. And if that credits me as an anti-Semite, well, then you can be a dumbass all day and do that, but that's not the case. Mm-hmm. I'm just stating the fact that there is a clear a clear horrible situation down there right now, and that I know that there's a hot tension, but we can still go back to the 1967 borders. I believe it was 67 and 1960s, somewhere in the 1960s, the borders that were drawn out then. We could go back to that, and you could live peacefully and separate Jerusalem in half, because bitch please, if you want peace, you can't have everything you want. You gotta compromise. I mean, I get a lot of that land is sacred to Jewish people. It's also very sacred to the Muslims there, to the Palestinians.
That's true.
The Israelis and the Palestinians. It's ridiculous to me, but that's just the point. That's just the point that there's no collusion. There are a lot more things that you could get Trump on.
We just wanted to get that out of the way. We just wanted to
throw our 2 cents in there.
Yeah, to kind of throw our, like you said, our 2 cents on this, just to let you guys know.
All that was just 2 cents off the dollar. There you go.
Most of this was just hysteria.
Yeah, witch hunt. Not that we agree with Trump, but
right.
witch hunt.
But it was.
Exactly.